Gervonta Davis' fight was announced with Lamont Roach, and now there is expectedly a lot of foolishness and a lot of rumors surrounding that card, including the fight card itself and who is going to be on that fight card. We'll talk about that, the actual information that we know, and the rumors that are coming out that I think we can correct. But also, I want to, in the second half of this video, so please watch the entire thing, I'm going to share with you a conversation that I had with a boxing fan that displays what the absolutely unreal expectations that people are putting on Gervonta Davis are. Expectations that they don't have themselves, and they use examples that are so far-fetched in them and inapplicable that it makes me wonder whether or not these guys are actually believing the things that they're saying. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where Gervonta Davis is going to be fighting Lamont Roach December 14th in Houston, Texas. Thinking about buying tickets, thinking about going there to see the fight. Should be a great fight night because there are some rumors. And actually, I think a couple confirmed things about the undercard. Some of them a little bit wild, and I wouldn't believe it. But a couple of them, could be absolutely positively terrific. At the same time, Gervonta Davis is being told that he must fight guys like Jaron Ennis in order for him to really achieve his greatness, because that's what everybody does. Go up to 147 and fight guys like Jaron Ennis to prove themselves. Great. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for your continued support. It absolutely makes a huge difference to the channel. Shout out to Matty O, shout out to Barbara D. But let's get into this. Okay, so let's go to the undercard that people that are just flat out not true, and we can get past this. Okay, and then we'll get to the two great fights that I think actually could be on this card. So people were saying that Gervonta Davis and Roach will have on the undercard both Charlo brothers. Jermell Charlo will be fighting on the undercard, and Jermall Charlo will be fighting under the undercard. So in Houston, Texas is what they're saying is you'd have Gervonta, Jermell, and Jermall. Let me prepare you guys ahead of time for that to most likely not be true. Okay? Most likely not be true. First, there's not been any talk about Jermall Charlo getting back in the ring anytime soon still. Even though he's been out and about, you've seen Jermell and Jermall hanging out, taking pictures and all of that. I wouldn't buy that. And the first fight back for Jermell being in 8 weeks, I wouldn't think so either. I would tell you those guys are probably going to fight after Errol Spence Jr. And if he winds up fighting Sebastian Fundora in January, I think that's after that point in time is when those guys are going to fight. Now, as far as the fights that could be on the card for real, you have Alberto Puello and Sandor Martin. Very good fight, man. Puello, who just beat Gary Antoine Russell. I thought it was a close fight, but I think it was a fair decision for Puello, who's an undefeated. Now he's a two-time 140-pound champion against the guy that Devin didn't want to fight and a guy that many people thought beat, if he didn't actually beat, Mikey Garcia. And I do believe that Sandor Martin also put some work in on Teofimo Lopez. So, Sandor Martin has done enough where he should be considered a legitimate threat for people, even though his style is not necessarily the most appealing. Now, the real fight, though, that I like, though, is the possibility of Steve Fulton Jr. versus Brandon Figueroa, the rematch at at 126 pounds. Their original fight was a championship fight, a unification fight, I do believe, at 122 pounds. That was closely contested. Steve Fulton Jr. got the decision, but man, it was a really, really good fight. I don't think that Brandon Figueroa has missed a beat since then. So terrific, terrific fight. I'm looking forward to it. And those are the two of the reasons that I would love to go to the fight, even though I think I'm probably going to have to be in another state at the time. Now, the last portion of this video I want to share with you, though, is this conversation that I had on Twitter, where somebody responded to me and said that Gervonta Davis needs to chase greatness by doing what all the other greats do, like Tim, and specifically the person they brought up was Costa Tszyu. If you're not familiar with who Costa Tszyu is a former 140-pound champion. He is a guy that stopped Zab Judah at 140 pounds. He ultimately lost his last fight to Ricky Hatton. However, one of the better 140-pounders this century for sure. Costa Tszyu, big straight right hand. And people are saying Gervonta needs to be like him and fight the best at 135, fight the best at 140. Only problem, Costa Tszyu never fought outside of 140. Costa Tszyu turned a pro at 140, and Costa Tszyu retired at 140. Costa Tszyu was never a 135-pounder. He was never a 147-pounder. And his entire career, again, was spent in the same division. How can you say that a great fighter like Costa Tszyu, who should be in the Hall of Fame if he's not already there, that Gervonta needs to do something that he never did, even though he's the one that even though he's in the Hall of Fame? Now, the same person, when I'm saying, and I say, hey, look, man, you used a bad example. Costa Tszyu, number one, Costa Tszyu is actually a lot bigger than Gervonta is, but Costa Tszyu never left the division, never left the division. And he said, well, basically the same argument continued where the person said that Gervonta has never won a championship at 140. So I said, hey, do you know that Gervonta Davis fought at 126? He turned pro at 126. He has a world championship at 130. He has a championship at one. He has belts at 130, belts at 135, belts at 140. He has fought over 4 divisions, won titles in 3 divisions. And he's also beaten guys that moved up and won titles at divisions above where he fought him at. Pedraza, he fought Pedraza at 130. Pedraza won a title at 135 after that. Gervonta beat Isaac Cruz at 135. Isaac Cruz moved up to 140, and Gervonta and won a title at 140. Same thing for Rolly Romero, even though some people reasonably wouldn't count that. But same thing for Mario Barrios. And guess what? Tank even moved to 140 for Mario Barrios. And Mario Barrios became a champion, beat Yordani Zugaz badly, and eventually became the WBC champion at 147. So it seems like Gervonta actually has fought guys at 130, 135, 140, and guys that went up to 147 and won belts. He beat champions at 130, beat champions at 135, beat champions at 140, and one of the champs he beat at 140 became a champion at 147. But Costa Tszyu never left his weight class. And it is Gervonta that needs to change what he does to catch up with Costa Tszyu? No. Let me tell you what the problem here is. The problem is you guys are listening to people that tell you that this guy's not doing anything. You accept it as true, but you don't actually take the time to look up and validate or verify what these people are saying. This person did not even know that Gervonta Davis had fought in 4 weight divisions. Actually, did not know that Gervonta Davis had already fought at 140. So even the people saying Gervonta needs to go up to 140 to win a title to do that, he already did it. He went up and fought Mario Barrios at 140 for a WBA title. So what's he supposed to do? Stay there forever? Nobody else has to stay there forever. No, Canelo didn't go to 175 and stay there. He went to 175, came back to 168, then went back to 175 when he liked it and went back down to 168. Come on, y'all, be fair. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.